Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly profound, the final cosmic journey of Lord Rama. You know, we spend so much time talking about the beginnings of epic stories, right? The births, the massive battles, the grand victories. But what actually happens when a divine mission is completely finished? How does a deeply reflective, spiritual journey out of the earthly realm actually unfold? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Seriously, how does a god say goodbye to the world? It completely flips our usual perspective on its head. We're so wired to think about endings as, well, mortality or tragedy. But in the Sanatana Dharma tradition, divine beings don't just pass away. It's not a tragic end. Instead, they're completing these extraordinary, purpose-driven missions. Their departure is this conscious, deeply reflective act. But to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this goodbye, we've got to rewind a bit and look at why he was here in the first place.
So it all comes down to the concept of an avatar. In ancient texts like the Bhagavata Purana, an avatar is basically a divine descent. It's the supreme being literally stepping into our world. And the reason for this? It's to restore balance. When dharma, or righteousness, starts to slip and chaos takes over, the divine literally takes physical form to course-correct the universe.
Which brings us to Lord Rama. He's revered as the seventh avatar of Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. But what's absolutely crucial to remember here is that his life wasn't just some grand, legendary epic. It was the ultimate living example of Maryada. We're talking about the absolute highest ideals of duty, honor, and righteousness, quite literally walking the earth. Every single step he took was a masterclass in living perfectly aligned with cosmic law.
Now, all of this flawless governance builds up to a really fascinating contrast, his earthly culmination versus the cosmic call. After defeating the demon king Ravana, Rama ruled Ayodhya for years, establishing what we call Rama Rajya. And even today, that's considered the golden standard of justice and compassion. But here's the catch. Even divine incarnations have to finish their work eventually. The Puranic narratives tell us that a messenger from the cosmic order finally arrived. And the message was simple. Your earthly purpose is fulfilled. It's time to come home.
And when that cosmic call drops, Rama doesn't just vanish into thin air. He handles it with his deliberate, deeply reflective grace. First, he secures Ayodhya, making absolutely sure his people are set up for continued prosperity. His dharma was established, the kingdom was safe. Then, with his earthly duties wrapped up, he simply starts walking toward the sacred waters of the Sarayu River. And here's where the narrative gets incredibly powerful. The people follow him. Vast, unprecedented numbers of citizens just start walking right behind him.
The source texts describe this moment so beautifully. They say they did not want to live in a world without Rama. Think about that. This wasn't just a handful of devoted monks. We're talking about massive crowds, everyday citizens, wise sages, even hardened warriors. Their devotion was so absolute that the very idea of existing in a world without his physical presence was just unbearable to them. This is the exact moment our story shifts gears from an earthly royal tale to something entirely cosmic.
Because as they're walking toward the river, Rama isn't doing this alone. His brothers are right there beside him on this final walk. And this is where the Bhagavata Purana hits us with a breathtaking spiritual reveal. It's the grand unveiling. Right there, the brothers begin to shed their mortal layers, revealing their true eternal cosmic identities. This whole time, you realize this wasn't just an earthly family navigating royal politics. Rama's entire family was literally the divine cosmic order playing out in human form.
It's incredible when you see how these earthly identities map out. First up is Lakshmana, who spent his whole life serving Rama with just unwavering devotion. He transforms back into Shesha, the infinite cosmic serpent that Lord Vishnu rests upon. Then there's Bharata, the brother who famously ruled only as Rama's representative. He reveals himself as the divine Shankha, Vishnu's conch shell. And Shatrughna, the quiet but fiercely powerful warrior, manifests as the Sudarshan Chakra, the divine discus. They were all extensions of the Supreme Being all along, playing their roles flawlessly right to the very end.
Let's just pause here for a second and really visualize this scene. The brothers have just revealed their true cosmic nature. You've got this massive, emotional crowd of citizens gathered around. And there's Rama, standing completely silent on the banks of the Sarayu River, just gazing out at Ayodhya one last time. You can almost feel the spiritual weight of that moment, right? He's looking at the city he loved, the people he protected, the world where he successfully reestablished righteousness. It's this profound moment of quiet reflection right before the ultimate transition.
So after taking that final look, Rama steps into the waters. And this brings us to a really vital concept, Jal Samadhi. Essentially, it's a sacred departure where a highly realized being consciously leaves their mortal body through water. And it's so important we frame this the right way.
This isn't a tragic end. It's definitely not a drowning. It is a deeply meditative, awe-inspiring, and completely conscious act of ascension. He's choosing to dissolve that physical form because, well, it's finally served its purpose.
The texts actually describe this moment with just incredible reverence. They say, the earthly form dissolved and the divine essence revealed itself once more. As Rama walked deeper into the Sarayu, the mortal prince of Ayodhya simply faded away. And in that precise moment, Sri Rama completely returned to his eternal identity as Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, now holding that cosmic conch and discus his brothers had just become.
And that is where the journey culminates, the ascension to Vaikuntha. This is the celestial realm, completely beyond the cycle of birth and death. Rama, fully realized as Vishnu, ascends to this ultimate divine home. But you're probably wondering, what about all those devoted citizens who walked into the water with him? Well, devotional traditions hold that because of their pure, absolute surrender, they didn't just meet an earthly end either. They actually attained ultimate liberation, ascending right alongside him.
If we take a step back and look at the big picture here, we see what philosophical traditions refer to as the cosmic rhythm. It always starts with the appearance, the birth of the avatar. Then it moves into purpose, the long years of reigning, fighting the battles, restoring Dharma. And then it seamlessly wraps up with the return, the Jal Samadhi. Every single divine incarnation follows this exact rhythm. It's this beautiful reminder that absolutely everything in the universe, even a divine descent, has a season, a purpose, and ultimately, a graceful conclusion.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, first off, a departure like this isn't a tragedy, it's a completion. It's a mission accomplished. Second, it reminds us that avatars show up specifically to guide us back to Dharma when things get chaotic. Third, and I think this is super relevant today, physical presence has an expiration date, but ideals are eternal. Rama's physical body may have stepped into the river, but his concepts of Maryada, of honor and duty, they live on forever. And finally, the spirit of Rama is always going to rise again, wherever and whenever Dharma needs protecting.
Lord Rama's physical mission ended, but those core ideals of justice, duty, and honor, they're permanently etched into the fabric of the universe. Which leaves us with a pretty massive question. What legacy of Dharma are you leaving behind? How are the things you're doing today shaping the balance of the world for the people who come after you? It's definitely something to chew on. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly spiritual journey today. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.